you already live?
I'm live, yes.
Bill Nye or die.
Hey guys, what's up? Hey everybody. Oh, let me get y'all straightened out. So, I'm trying to get this stand the right way. There we go. I think that's better. Okay. So, the other day I did I was doing our step 5 through the Russell Brand book with you guys. Well, guess what happened? It didn't fucking record. I'm pissed. I'm pissed, man. But I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to go ahead and move on to step 6. I'll do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Kyle, I'm not sure, honey. I'm not sure. He's on an account, but he's not posting. If he does, I'll let you know. Right now, it's kind of up in the air because he is still, so he's on house arrest, okay? He got out of the federal penitentiary because of coronavirus, okay? So what they did was they let him go in his house as long as he has an ankle monitor on, and he's serving the next 2 or 3 years like that from his home. And so with him making those videos about his case and stuff, even though he's already went to court on it and it's already been said and done, they still have the power to tell him hey, you can't post that. I know it's crazy, but it is what it is, and he doesn't want to get in trouble, So that's why he had to take down his account. It really sucks because I'm a social media account manager, and I was managing his account, and I was doing really good helping him build that account. The first video that I had him post got 700,000 views because I'm a genius. Because I'm a genius. That's right, I said it. I'm so excited. I'm in too deep. Oh, crazy. But it feels alright. Hey, Nate.
What?
Will you bring me that white cord?
Oh.
Baby, thinking of you keeps me up all night. Okay. So, yeah, I didn't know Jason before TikTok. I met him here on TikTok. And I was following his story, and I thought, man, I want to work with him. He's really freaking amazing.
Watch this.
What?
Watch this.
Nate, I need it.
Oh, my God.
What? I don't want you to drop it.
Break it out.
Hey, TikToker, what's up? I really appreciate the compliment, man. Thank you. I appreciate you. I do make some pretty triggering videos, so if you're new in recovery, be careful. I just put up a video about what is it like to shoot up methamphetamine, and I don't do that because I'm trying to brag about it. I do it because I'm trying to share with people why it's so easy for those of us who are injecting to become addicted. I think a lot of people don't understand that when you inject drugs, it's way different than whenever you are using them any other way. And I don't think people understand that. So, I'm just trying to kind of share a different perspective to help people see that. So, I wanted to sit here and chat with you guys. And I got these little rubber band things. And so I think I'm going to do some little braids in my hair while I talk to you guys about recovery and life. So, I was watching some of my friends' videos today, and a lot of them have been making videos about trauma, that their addiction began with childhood trauma. And that got me to thinking about my own addiction, okay? And so I was thinking about how, I didn't have any trauma when I was a kid growing up, okay? Like, I pretty much had it made in the shade, okay? I had a great life. I had everything a kid could need and want. I just really struggled with my self-esteem. So it wasn't that I was like, abused or came from a broken family. It was just that I was just in the perfect shitstorm. It was the perfect shitstorm for me of insecurity, low self-esteem, no self-worth, and the right group of friends, right? And so when I was a kid hanging out, I can remember one of the turning points for me was whenever I got my first boyfriend. Whenever I got my very, very first boyfriend, and I don't talk about this guy a lot because I was only with him for like 8 months, but my very, 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 very first boyfriend was this guy named John Ross. And I mean, you guys, I liked him so much. Well, I became borderline obsessed with my boyfriends, okay? So I would put so much validity into the fact that, I was with these guys. I would take my relationships so seriously, like they were marriage relationships, And so I remember this guy, John Ross. I ended up carving his name into my leg with a pencil. Oh, hold on. I ended up carving his name into my leg with a pencil because that's how crazy I was about this dude. You see what I'm saying? And so when we ended up breaking up, I had this fucking carving on my thigh that said, I love John Ross. You know what I mean? And I used a pencil to do it. That's crazy. Like, who does that? Who does that? I didn't have a good example of what a healthy relationship was. Because my parents, even though they're still together to this day, my dad was like really controlling and my mom was like super easygoing and shit. And so growing up, I always seen that controllingness with my dad, and my mom just kind of like, whatever, she would do whatever's clever, and my dad would rule the roost. So once I got old enough to start having relationships, I started being the controller. Okay, so I wasn't gonna be letting no dude control me. I was the one who was in charge, and that started out at a very young age. I began to control, be very very controlling, very jealous of anybody that my boyfriend would talk to, very insecure, and that controlling and insecurity, it made for a volatile, hey Dave, what's up? Volatile relationship, okay? Because not only was I super controlling, but I was also physically and verbally abusive to my partners. Honey, I have a problem. I've always had this problem. And so I can remember the first time I ever hit Robert was he had done something. It made me really mad. And I had a paddle brush like this. And he was over at my mom and dad's house with me. And we were in my bedroom. And he said something. And I got pissed. And so I chased him out of my room, through the living room, and out the front door, knocking him over the head with this damn brush, And that was my first experience with being physical with a boyfriend. Now, a lot of the times I would be physical because I would be responding to them being physical with me. I can't remember if Robert got physical with me first. I want to say that it was me that got physical first. But then after that, it wasn't nothing but a thing. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to have a healthy relationship because when I was a little girl, the way my dad disciplined me and my sisters was really scary. Okay, so I love my dad. He's my best friend now, but my mom and dad did not know how to take care of kids. And so when we were little girls, my dad would get the belt. Okay, so let's say like we would get in trouble and we would have to wait for my dad to get home because my dad would be the one who spanked us, right? And so when he would get home, he would take his belt off and he would start popping it, almost like like tainting us. What is it called? Tainting? No, like teasing us. Okay, like pop, pop, trying to scare us, walking around. Who's next? Pop, pop. And me and my sisters would be crying, so upset. I remember one time, my sister Michelle, she was not having it. She was not getting spanking, and she didn't give a damn what she had to do. So while me and Christine were taking the heat, taunting us, while me and my sister Christine were taking the heat, my sister Michelle had went into the kitchen and grabbed a big old giant frying pan, like a flat pan, like a pancake pan that you put pancakes on, like that, and had stuck it in her sweatpants and then pulled another pair of sweatpants over that and another pair of sweatpants over that and another, like she was just ready. So after my dad had got done spanking me and my sister Christine, he went over to spank my sister Michelle, and she had this fucking literal pan in her ass. And that just made my dad even more angry. Okay, so he was, what the hell? He pulls this pan out of her ass, and then he just starts going to town spanking her with the belt. Okay, and that's one thing that my dad would do when we were young, is he would spank us when he was angry. He would be angry and spanking us. All right, and so what I have learned with my son is that I don't discipline my son when I'm angry, okay? I've only spanked my little boy one time, and it was like when he was like 4, I think, and I was mad when I did it, and he was younger than 4. He was still wearing a diaper. I popped him on his bottom because he was still wearing a diaper hard enough that, hard enough that he cried, you know what I mean? And I felt horrible, and I was like, I will never ever ever do that again, ever, because I was spanking him while I was angry. So when me and my sisters were growing up, that's what my dad would do. My dad would get angry and he would spank us while he was mad, and you could tell he was mad because he would be yelling and harping on us like, are you going to listen to your mom when she tells you not to da, 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 the whole time while he's spanking you? He's like yelling at you and like berating you and saying like, are you going to listen to me now? Are you going to listen to me now? You know what I mean? And so I fucking never wanted to get spanked. And so I would do my best to not get in any trouble. Right. So once me and my sisters got old enough to where like we weren't getting spanked anymore, you know, anyway, I don't know what you're talking about, Mikey. Once we got old enough to where, he wasn't spanking us anymore, then, you know, my sister Michelle would they would get into such like heated altercations that my sister would go toe to toe with my dad, like trying to fight him and shit. And I remember one time, she was fighting him and she went to punch my dad, and he grabbed her hand and he squeezed it and he broke her fingers. And she had like 3 broken fingers on her hand, and it was like straight up broken fingers. But back then when we were little, you know, when we were getting punished like that, like nobody would say anything. Like it was normal for your mom or dad to like smack the shit out of you in the middle of Walmart, or pull their car over on the side of the road and spank you in front of everybody. That's one thing that my mom would always do. And she would follow through. If you don't shut up back there, if you don't act right back there, I'm going to pull this van over and I'm going to spank you right in the middle of the road. She'd pull us over, get one of us out on the side of the road, and ba-da-pow, ba-da-pow, ba-da-pow. You know what I mean? But My mom was more of the one who she was soft spoken and she didn't want to have to do all that. But she would reprimand us when my mom reprimanded us the right way. She wouldn't spank us when she was angry, and she would just like pop us when we deserved to get popped. You know what I mean? My dad would do it in a way where he was angry and emotional, like me. Okay. So you would feel like he was mad at you and stay mad at you even after you got your spanking. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. He felt horrible. And that's the thing. Like for those of you guys that don't know, my dad's dad beat him. Okay. So I guess I should have told you guys that. My dad's dad was an alcoholic, and when he was growing up as a kid, my grandpa used to beat the shit out of my dad, like punch him in the face, knock him out, grab him by his hair and slam his face up against the fucking wall, like break his nose, like really beat him. And so and that's what my dad would always tell me and my sisters. He would say, you don't understand how good you have it. Like my dad used to beat me, like beat the shit out of me. You know what I mean? My dad beat me so bad I peed on myself, you know, and he would like tell us about that. But when I was little, I didn't understand. But now I do. Now I understand. And now I understand why he had such a struggle when spanking us. It was like almost like he would almost fly off the hinge like his dad would, you know? And so that's why I noticed that about myself when Nate was little. I noticed that I had a very short fuse, and if I was like reprimanding Nate or spanking Nate, I could fly off the handle, right? I could fly off the handle. And so that's why I don't spank my son. Because hey Leah, what's up, girl? Because I am so, my emotions, and I get very upset. Like when Nathaniel does something wrong, it's usually because he hurt me. It's hurting my feelings. You know what I mean? Like he'll be disrespectful to me or sass me and not have respect for me. You know what I mean? And that one thing that him and me and his dad are constantly pulling him up about is him being respectful to me as his mother. And so whenever I realize that, hey, when I get really upset and I can't control myself, and I will end up hitting him and hurting him and not meaning it. So that's why I don't spank him at all. I just can't. I cannot control that. Now, if I waited until like an hour after whatever situation was going on died down and then reprimanded him, then I would be fine. But like, who waits an hour after the incident happens and then comes back to it? You know what I mean? So basically what I'm trying to explain to you guys is that when I was a little girl, like I didn't have like trauma in the respect that like I was that I had like an abusive family, or I was mentally abusive or sexually abusive. But when I think back to the way my dad reprimanded us and punished us, like it was very, very triggering, and it was very, very scary, and it was very like, this is not what's supposed to happen. Like your dad, and your dad's not supposed to taunt you with the belt. You know what I mean? And that's what my dad would do to me and my sisters. He would taunt us with the belt, and he would pop it, and he would walk around the house, and he would do it on purpose to make us upset. You know what I mean? And then he would do things like scare us. So let's say he had like this crazy wolf costume, and so he would hide it behind something and then jump out and scare us. And he would get the biggest kick out of seeing me and my sisters crying because we were scared of our mind. You know what I mean? I was just like, and I am the same way. Like I love to do the same thing. I love to scare my son too. But what I realized from my experience with my dad doing it to me is that I can laugh about it now because I'm an adult, but it was scarring. It was not good. It was unhealthy for me what happened. So that's why I don't do those things with Nate. Yeah. So one time I remember my dad, and the only time my dad ever hurt any of us, like really hurt any of us, is when he was spanking my sister Michelle, because my sister Michelle was the one that was always getting in trouble. You know what I mean? Always getting in trouble, always running away from home, always sassing back, always like stealing, lying, cheating, being promiscuous, all that. And so it was always like something with my sister. And I remember one time my dad was spanking her, and he let go of the end of the belt, and the belt buckle hit my sister's ass. And when I tell you guys, it took a big chunk out of her butt. And my dad, that time I saw my dad he cried. He felt so guilty and so bad about it. And after that day when he was spanking my sister, that's when they stopped spanking us with the belts. In fact, they stopped spanking us altogether, because we were all like 13 years old, 12 years old. We were big enough to where they didn't need to be touching our bottoms. You know what I mean? So we started to get grounded. Okay. And so like grounding for us would be like, we all have to stay in our own rooms. We can't be in each other's rooms. And we can't go hang out with our friends after school, or we can't go swimming outside in our pool because we had a pool, and it would be like a 2-week long grounding, and it was serious. Like, it was hard. I can remember like being grounded from being able to go swimming, and my sisters were going swimming, and my friends everybody was out there swimming except for me, and I had to sit in my room by myself, and it sucked. But back then, that's how it was. Now, I couldn't imagine doing that to my son today. I just believe that there's better ways to communicate what you want from your child than beating them, right? So like, if you want your child to be respectful of you, then you be respectful of them, right? And you respect them, they respect you. It's like but because they're kids and they can't control their emotions, there's going to be days where maybe they talk back, or they say things they're not supposed to say, or they do things they're not supposed to do. And in that situation, it's my job as a parent to correct them, right? Correct them in a way that I'm not getting the belt and spanking them. Like, if, for instance, a lot of the times when my son is getting in trouble, it's because he's disrespecting me in a way that's like hella disrespectful, like calling me out of my name. Okay. And because he hears people on TV say these things, and he thinks it's okay to say it, and then he says it, you know what I mean? And so that was one thing that he was like on this little kick for the longest of cussing at me, saying cuss words to me. And so finally what I had to do, I think really helped get it through to him, and then his dad also had to talk with him, was, I sat down and I explained to him like how it made me feel when he would say those things to me, and how much I care for him, and how, it hurt my heart because I love him and he's disrespecting me, and then his dad, Neil, sat down with him and explained to him, like, you do not talk to your mom that way. You don't talk to any woman that way, So anyway, I don't know why I got on that subject, but I thought I would talk about it. Oh yeah, that's why. My childhood, that's why. So, I mean, I guess if y'all are listening, from the outside looking in, I mean, I guess you could say I did have trauma in my childhood because of the corporal punishment that my dad would instill, on us. But honestly, we had so many good things. We had so many good things in our life. Like, we were always going on vacation. We always had the brand new toys. We always had the up-to-date clothes. Like, once my mom changed from Pentecostal to non-denominational, that's when we were allowed to wear whatever kind of clothes we wanted, right? And so we would always have the best clothes. We were always involved in like extracurricular activities, softball, basketball, soccer, fucking everything you could imagine. And my dad was like our coach. So it wasn't like we had a good childhood, a good childhood. I can remember me and my sisters, we had so many different animals. So first I remember my mom and dad, they let us get a new dog, and we went to the pound to pick her out, and my dad picked out the only dog that didn't run away from him out of this litter of black lab puppies, right? Well, come to find out, the reason why the damn thing didn't run away from him is because it was dying of heartworms. So we had to spend a whole bunch of money to get this baby, this poor dog, fixed for this heartworms. But she ended up being okay, and we named her Queenie. This dog was jumping over the fence, digging underneath the everything, okay? And we also had a little itty bitty dog named Bam Bam, who was a Lhasa Apso. So my dad and my mom bought Bam Bam when I was born. So we couldn't keep Queenie. We had her for like maybe 1 or 2 years, but she was too much responsibility, and she needed owners that were going to like take her on trails and take her hiking and stuff like that. So my parents, we rehomed her to a better home. But after we did that, you know, my mom and dad would let us get animals. So we all got rabbits. I got a rabbit, Michelle got a rabbit, and Christine got a rabbit. And we had these rabbit coops that my dad built outside in the backyard of our house. And these rabbits were so fucking beautiful. My rabbit, Whitey, was so fucking crazy that I could let the rabbit go in the backyard, and we had a cat named Bandit. This rabbit was so big that it would whoop Bandit's ass. Okay, it was a big ass white rabbit. One night though, we didn't get them inside on time, and it was raining outside. And you know, if they are like in a storm, they can have heart attacks. So guess what happened? It was storming and thundering and lightning, and they had heart attacks and died. So after those things died, then we got hamsters. And I made a story time about that the other day for you guys. But we got hamsters, and oh my gosh, you guys, I loved these little hamsters. Loved them with all my heart. They would break out of their cages, and my dad would always freak out about them chewing the wires behind the TV. Make sure you find them. Make sure they don't chew the wires, right? But we would always find them. Well, my hamster passed away. Something happened to it. Christine's hamster passed away, and the only hamster left was my sister Michelle's hamster, Sweetie, okay? One day we all wake up and we're getting ready for school, and we go to check on Sweetie, and Sweetie has pushed her organs out of her body. They're out of her. So whatever is supposed to be inside of her, she has pushed it out of her, and it's outside of her body but still connected to her. And we were like crying. Went and got my mom, and my mom didn't know what to do, so she got some oil, coconut oil or mineral oil, and pushed it back in, whatever it was, and the baby, it died the next day. Isn't that horrible? Fuck. Hamsters die tragically all the time. So whenever that hamster died, then guess what? Then we got chickens, okay? And these chickens, y'all, we had 6 chickens, 2 on each of us, right? And we would pull the hide bed out and sleep in the living room with these chicks laying on our chests, each one of us. We would wake up the next morning with chicken shit all over our shirts. But these baby chicks were everything to us, everything. Of course, when they got old enough, we had to let them go outside, and then they, killed all the ants and all the spiders and shit. That's why we had them, though, because they laid eggs and they killed ticks. One time we were outside, and there was a mouse hole in our backyard, and my dad had told me to get the hose and turn it on and put the hose down the mouse hole. And he stood at the other end of the hole, which was like maybe 10 feet away from me, right? I stuck that hose down there, I turned it on, and the water started going in there, and all of a sudden, the other hole you see over there, you see all these little baby mice just popping out of the other hole, right? Because it's flooding, water's flooding it. And my dad is picking these baby mice up with a pooper scooper and tossing them in the air. And these chickens are catching these fucking mice in the air. And they're running around, and all you can see is a tail hanging out of these chickens' mouths. Hey, Carla, what's up, girl? They looked like fucking football players running around with fucking tails hanging out of their mouth. It was hilarious, dude. I had never seen a chicken eat something like that. After that chicken ate those mice, I knew it would eat anything. It ate a tarantula. It ate chicken. It would eat another bird. Okay? Them chickens are damn scavengers. They'll take whatever you got. Whatever you got. But we had those chickens for years and years and years and years and years. So my life was good growing up. I had a pretty good childhood. Like I said, my dad spanking us was traumatizing. And then what else was something that was like really traumatizing for me? Okay. So when I was younger, I used to watch, Unsolved Mysteries and America's Most Wanted. Okay. With my dad. Every time it came on, I was sitting there on the couch with my dad watching these shows. Right. And when you're a kid, under the age of 14, and you're watching these shows and you're hearing about these murderers and all this, right? It's scary, man. It's scary, right? Well, I didn't realize that I was doing myself a disservice watching that shit. One day, it started coming on me like out of nowhere. I started to become extremely paranoid. As a kid, part of it was because my dad would always say, Gina, make sure you lock the doors. That way we don't get chopped up at night. Or, girls, make sure your windows are locked, your doors are locked, so you don't get chopped up. Okay, that's what he still says that to me to this day. Make sure your doors are locked so you don't get chopped up. Okay, so as a young girl, I would be riding in the car with my mom and dad, and we would stop at a stoplight, and I would start crying and beg my mom to please hit the lock button, to hit the electric lock, and make sure all of our windows were rolled up, because I was afraid that somebody was going to snatch me out of the car at a red light. Okay, like, I'm serious. To the point where I was scared everywhere we went. I was afraid. Okay. Then I started to have dreams. Okay. I started to have dreams about a van and a man kidnapping me. Okay. And this man would kidnap me, and then they would put me in the back of the white van. But one thing that I would notice is I would see the license plate of this van, and I would memorize it. So that way, when I would wake up from this dream, I would know the license plate number and I would write it down, right? For real. And so I would constantly be looking to see if I saw that license plate number, because that's how real these dreams and shit that I was having were. It was almost like premonitions. I felt like that I was going to know what was going to happen before it happened, But I was literally scarred. I was so traumatized and so scared. And my anxiety level was constantly through the roof. And so, was I born as an anxious little baby girl? Yeah, probably. But it was something that was learned over time because of, the content that I was taking in, and then the way my dad was, Yeah, what's up, Lorenza? What? So sitting there and watching my dad, be paranoid and say things about getting chopped up or getting robbed or having our house broken into, that would, the reason why he said those things is not because he was trying to scare us, but it was because he genuinely thought about that kind of stuff. He genuinely was concerned about us getting chopped up or getting broken into. Your dad was an addict. So my dad he used cocaine, alcohol and marijuana. Okay. But when he said that whenever me and Michelle and Christine were like, he said I was probably like 3, Michelle was 2, and my baby sister Christine had just been born. She was like 1, he said one day he just looked at all the 3 of us and he said, I've got 3 daughters I've got to take care of. And he just fucking stopped. He stopped. He said all he was doing was smoking weed at that time, so it wasn't that hard. But he just dropped it. Dropped it like a hot tamale. If my dad was going to be addicted to something, it would be stimulants, though. My mom would always say, if you get kidnapped, they will bring you back. What's so bad about body brokers? Whatever gets an addict into treatment by any means necessary. Okay, so, oh, absolutely. By any means necessary, get people into treatment, right? I agree. But here's the thing. What's so bad about body brokers are taking payments and headhunting, which is illegal, okay? You're not allowed to be paid per person that you get into treatment. It's illegal. Okay. Another thing that makes it bad is that they're unethical. They will give their clients drugs to be high and go into treatment, and be high and then relapse and come out. They will get the kids after they get out of treatment and put them in a sober living that they know is like a sober living where everybody's getting high and fucked up, and they'll just fucking run them through the process because they're getting their insurance payment for the Vivitrol shot. And so, like, the stuff that they do is fraud. It's not like good stuff. And most of the time, if a body broker is placing somebody into treatment, they're placing somebody into a treatment center that's a rogue treatment center, a treatment center that is paying them, right, under the table. And so that treatment center is unethical, okay? And so a lot of these treatment centers that these kids will get placed into that are being brokered is a place that will literally kick them out. And, oh, sorry, your insurance is out. You got to go right now. Or, oh, sorry, you talked to somebody when you weren't supposed to. You're kicked out. And they're just unethical. They don't care about helping the person that's struggling with addiction. They're looking for the paycheck, and that's all it's about. And that's whenever a place gets to that kind of point where they're no longer about helping the client, and it's more about the money that they're making and how many people they can get in. Like, that's not good, because they're not going to get a good level of care. They're just going to get compromised care. Okay. And so that is what body brokering is. That's why whenever people accuse me of being a body broker, that's why I would get so mad, because I don't do that shit. First of all, I don't have any kind of referral relationships with any treatment centers, at all. And the treatment center that I am affiliated with, we only had outpatient at the time. Now we don't even have that. But we only had outpatient. So when people would say things like, Nicole gets paid to put people on Suboxone, that's a lie. That's a lie. And that pissed me off, because that's giving people the idea that I don't care and that I'm just willing to get anybody on Suboxone no matter what their situation is, because I want to make money. Okay. And that's not the truth. If I was just putting anybody on subs, and making all this money off of it, then I would have so many people on there, you have no idea. But that's not how I operate. When somebody reaches out to me for help, I straight up tell them, you got options. And I give them the options that they have. And I ask them, what do they want to do? How do they want to go about getting help for their recovery? Do you understand what I'm saying? But a lot of people say things like, I'm a body broker because I answer the phones for a treatment center. Okay, it's like, what? I'm a body broker because I schedule new patients at the MAT clinic I work for. What? How do I rebuild my reputation with people if I'm young and got sober? Over time, you got to show them. There's nothing that you can say and everything that you can do. You have to show them through your actions, okay? And I'm telling you, don't go around trying to be like, I'm sorry, I've changed. Bop, 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 bop. Save it. Save it, okay? They've all heard it a million times before. What you do is you go in and you start changing your behaviors. That's how I changed my, that's how I got my relationship back with my mother and father, was I stopped talking about it and I started to be about it, okay? I stopped talking about it and I started being about it. I started walking the walk instead of just talking the talk. And it took about 1.5 years for my parents to actually see and believe that I was actually changing and that I was actually staying sober. They actually sent for me to come to New York because they were living in New York at the time. And they sent me and my husband and my son train tickets to come see them. Hold on, y'all. Okay. They sent me train tickets to go see them. And so that's how I was able to go see them. And then my mom and dad were able to see, wow, Nicole has really changed. She's really doing the right thing today. And like I said, it took a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. I have one. Hold on, y'all. I have one, but I haven't been posting. I post on Dr. B's. Post on Dr. B's. Yeah. And so over time, you're going to change and your family is going to see the change in you, you know? So here's a way that my mom said, hey, Kim, what's up, girl? This is a way that my mom said that she could tell that I was changing was when I was in active addiction, I would like cuss all the time. And I know y'all are probably going, well, you still do. No. When I was in active addiction, I was like, motherfucking shit, motherfucker, like I just talked totally different, right? And so that was one way that my mom could tell that I was changing, was that I wasn't just sitting there. My vocabulary was actually widening. I was actually saying other words than fucking shit. You know, and my mom and dad, they were cheering me on. They were wanting me to get better. You know, they had been there through my whole addiction. My mom and dad never enabled me. They never allowed me to just come and live with them and get high. If I was using drugs, I was not allowed to live with them. So I didn't live with them. You know, there was many times where they told me that I could come and I could move in and I could start my life over again and get my life back. And I wouldn't stop using drugs. You know, I wouldn't stop using drugs, so I wouldn't go back. They wouldn't give me any money. Now, one thing my mom would do is she would give me food. She would give me cook me a home cooked meal. She would give me food. She'd give me clean clothes. She'd allow me to take a shower, you know, and that kind of thing. But she wasn't going to give me no money. She wouldn't give me no rides if I wanted to ride to the dope man's house. I had my own car at the time, but you know, she wouldn't give me no rides. She was super duper strict about disconnecting from me. She called it detaching with love. Detaching with love. And so, you know, going from being in a household where you see your mom and dad, their relationship, like I told you guys, my dad's really controlling. It works for my parents. They've been married for like 50 years, but my dad's really controlling. And so, that's how I am in my recovery. Hey, Gina, good job, girl. That's how I am, is I'm very controlling also. And so that's what I've been working on with my husband, is trying not to be controlling of him and letting him, you know, find his own way. It's hard though, you guys. It's hard because I want to jump in and like fix, manage, and control. You know what I mean? I want to jump in and make sure that nothing bad happens. That's awesome, Jamie. Congratulations, girl. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. Good job, Jennifer. I'm proud of you too, girl. So you guys, did you guys see that Trashly is she's almost done with her book? I'm going to message her and ask her if she can show me how to self-publish a book. Because if she can write a book, I can write a book. And so I want to do it. I want to write a book about my life and my story. Do you think that would be stupid? I mean, a lot of people tell me, like a lot of people on Facebook, they tell me that I should. And I just don't know. I don't want to think I don't want to think too highly of myself, you know, to where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to write it back. I'm so important. You know what I mean? But I want to write a book, I want to write a book I want to share about, you know, how I got sober with MAT, and I wanted to really talk about, like, in my book it would be like heavily talked about how, you know, hard it was for me to get on MAT because of the stigma of it, and how I almost, you know, lost custody of my son because of my addiction. And so I would want to do that, you know. Yeah, I know somebody else that has wrote a lot of books, and so it must not be very hard. Be very hard, you know. I just need somebody to like proofread it. Yeah, I think it would be therapeutic too. Very much so. Very much so. I just don't want people to think that I'm like the shit or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that I'm like the end all be all of recovery. Like I'm very, very I feel like I'm pretty humble, you know what I mean? Um because I do watch some people that I see online that I think, "Oh my gosh, they're so full of themselves," you know what I mean? And I don't ever want to be like that. So if you guys ever see me acting like that, you better let me know. Okay, girl, hold me to it. So what do y'all want to talk about? What questions y'all got for me today? Anything? I just think it's crazy how, like, do you still get urges? Do I still get? Oh, that's a good question. So when I get urges to use, it's usually because of something that triggers that. So normally I get triggered by my weight. Okay. And that what will happen is that I will feel, you know, insecure. I won't like the way something fit or something. And then my mind will go, well, if you could do some meth, you could lose weight really quick. And so that's the only time that I ever really think about it, is when I'm triggered by my weight. Every now and then I might have like a Xanax, like a thought about using Xanax or something like that. But for the most part, I'm constantly talking about recovery, okay? I'm constantly talking recovery. I'm constantly living recovery. And so it's almost like I don't even have time. Hey, what's up, Jesse? It's almost like I don't even have time to think about using, because my mind is always on helping someone else and recovery. Always. Whenever I'm not here on a live stream, I am thinking of different content that I can make about recovery to help other people. Yeah. So that's what helps me stay on the right path, is that keeping recovery in the forefront of my mind helps me to stay on the right path. But sure, yeah, I get triggered and I'll think about using sometimes, but I don't give it no power. Because here's the thing, like, drugs and alcohol don't have power over me anymore, okay? Like, I can make good choices today. I don't have to worry about getting triggered and picking up and going and relapsing. Like, I don't even have to worry about that because I don't even, like that, I'm not even in that space anymore. Like, there's no tripping and falling and relapsing. Like, I would have to go out and actively seek out a drug dealer and drugs and a way to do it and everything. That's how disconnected I am from that lifestyle. I have totally changed my whole life to where there's no connection between me and drugs. So it would be something that I would have to work at to get, I would have to go out and make an effort to get high. So with all that time that I would spend thinking about getting high and all the effort that I would have to put into finding a drug dealer, getting the drugs, all that, hopefully my recovery would kick in between there, or somebody would call me or something would happen and it would stop me. You know what I mean? But today I don't have to worry about it because, like I said, drugs and alcohol don't have power over me now. I can go to a bar. Excuse me. I can go to a bar and I can hang out with people that are drinking and partying, and I don't have... Alcohol doesn't have power over me. Meth doesn't have power over me. Cocaine doesn't have power over me today. You know, I heard some people talking about the 12 steps and saying that they don't like it because in the 12 steps they say that you're powerless. And they're not telling you that you're powerless now. The reason why they say powerless is that we're powerless over drugs and alcohol when we put those substances into our body. Okay? That's what it's saying is, but you know what? You can gain power back. You can gain power back over those substances. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and, you know, get some alcohol or get some dope and do it to see if you got power back. But I'm telling you that you can. You can get power back to where you could be around it and you don't even want to do it anymore because you have just, you've graduated. You're on a different plane, dude. You're on a whole nother level. You know, you're vibrating at a higher vibration, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? And so, like, being around alcohol and drugs, like, it don't even faze you because you're on a different level now. You're not even connected in that way to that fucking bullshit anymore. So... But be careful because I don't want y'all to go out and test yourselves. Because I do know some people, okay, bye girl. I do know some people that go out and try to like test themselves. And that's not what I'm saying. Like, that's ignorant, okay? Like going out and putting yourself in situations where people are getting high, trying to test yourself. Like, that's just ignorant. That's just stupid. You're just trying to you're just asking for fucking trouble. You know what I mean? Don't do that dumb shit. Don't do that dumb shit. You're supposed to protect your sobriety like you would a fucking lottery ticket, like you would the winning lottery ticket of the Powerball. Okay, that's how you should protect your sobriety. Like you're walking around holding the Powerball winners. So, okay. What other questions y'all got for me today? I like answering questions. Questions, come on, give it to me. Questions. Through going to therapy and working the 12 steps and being of service to others, through that, I have been able to gain back, right, the power that I once had lost in my active addiction. Because when I was in active addiction, I was out of control. Now that I'm in recovery, I'm in control. I have control over my choices and what I do. I have control over who I hang out with. I have control over what media I take in. what places I go. I have complete control over my life today in recovery. When I was in active addiction, I had no control. Everything was contingent on the dope, okay? So it would depend on if I got some dope. If I got the dope, then we would XYZ. If I got the dope, then we would blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I'm saying? And so now in recovery, I don't have to depend on a substance to be able to have fun and do things, right? Now I can depend on myself, which it takes some getting used to. When you haven't been able to depend on yourself, in 15 years, and then you start being able to do things like that, it's a big change. It's a huge change. It's very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Feeling feelings without drugs and alcohol is overwhelming. Very overwhelming. It's very scary. It's fucking anxiety, man. Pop, 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 heart beating. It's really, really intense. It's very intense because that's why I use drugs and alcohol. I use drugs and alcohol because the intensity that you see with me now, back whenever I was, younger, I was insecure about Nicole, the Nicole I am today. And I felt like I needed to take something to change the way Nicole was, right? Because I'm an intense, high-strung, anxiety kind of person, like, anyway, naturally, okay? And so when I would take drugs and alcohol, I would use drugs and alcohol to combat that and make me the opposite way. Make me, more chilled out, make me more focused, make me more productive. So after you go 15 years with pumping your body full of drugs and alcohol that deaden your senses and your feelings, right? And then you're off those drugs and alcohol, and those feelings and senses are wide open, right? They have nothing blocking them. It's like, have you ever seen the show Beverly Hillbillies, when the little old granny sticks her finger in the light socket and she's like, and her hair's like that? That's what it's like whenever you first get sober from drugs and alcohol. You literally feel like you have stuck your finger in a light socket and been electrocuted. So, if y'all have any questions, you can ask me anything. I had to learn how to cope with my feelings sober. And do you know what it's like to have two people in early sobriety trying to learn how to cope with their feelings together and fight for custody of their child back? It's hard. It's hard. It's tough. And that's what happened to me and Neil, is that we were sitting here trying to get our son back, fighting for everything in us, okay? Okay. Sorry about that. That's why they tell you, like, well, you think about having more kids, you are a great mom. No way. No way, Mallory. So here's the thing with that. I like the fact that me and my husband we can do a lot of things for my son financially because he's an only child. Now, I have felt guilty and wanted to have another brother or sister for him because, I feel like he don't have anybody to play with, but he'll be okay. He'll be okay. He has me, and then he has his friends, because I'm 40. I just turned 40, and adding another child at this time in my life, my husband's 45, it would just be too much. And honestly, we have the perfect situation right now financially. And if we added another baby to it, it would just be overwhelming financially. And so I know a lot of people don't think about it like that, but before I think about it like that, I don't want to bring another baby into this world if I can't financially take care of that child. There's a lot of people who just pop kids out, and they don't even think about that kind of stuff, about the fact that they can't afford to even have these kids. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to put my baby in a position where he ever has to want or need for anything. If I did have another kid, like by accident or something, I would want to have a little girl, and her name would be Nadia Marie. Yes, Heather, same. Irish Deb, what's up, girl? She says, I didn't get pregnant because I was afraid to pass on addiction. When I got pregnant, I wasn't trying to get pregnant. When I got pregnant, it was a mistake. It was an accident. But I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I had my son. Even though, me and my husband struggled the first year of my son's life, I really feel like we have, turned it around. And my little boy has, like I said, my son has the best life that any kid could ever have. He has everything that he could ever want and more. He has love from us, so much love from me and his daddy. And, I'm constantly telling him how much I love him, how important he is to me, how smart he is, everything. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. I really, really do. I work really hard to be a good mom, and like I said, I'm not perfect and I'm learning, but I'm learning and I'm actively trying to make sure that I don't impose the same trauma onto my son that my family put on me by accident. That's why, like I said, I don't spank my son, because of the trauma that I experienced with, spankings when I was little. Now I will do the grounding. That is fair to me. Hey, Erin, where have you been, girl? I hadn't seen you in forever. You doing okay? And before I had kids, I thought I would be a mom who spanked her kid, right? Like I remember saying, I will spank my kid. I will do this. I will do that. It's so much different whenever you end up having children. It really, really is. Honestly, there's not anything that my son could do that would ever warrant me spanking him, hitting him. I'm doing good. That is why, me and my son have a relationship where my son is coming to me and talking to me, y'all. He's 8 years old, and what I am teaching him is already starting to stick. Okay. So ever since Nate has been old enough to understand, I have been sharing with him that there's nothing that he could ever do that would ever make me angry at him or mad or anything, right? Nothing. That he could always tell me anything that He can talk to me about anything. If it's a secret, I'll keep it a secret. Whatever it is, I will be here to listen, but he does not have to be embarrassed or afraid to talk to me about anything. He will not get in trouble, right? So today, and this has happened a couple times, he says, "Mom, I need to talk to you about something." I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Well, so-and-so," we'll just call his friend Kyle. Kyle said something to me that was pretty serious. And I was like, "Really? What did he say?" Well, Kyle told me that you can do drugs on private property, that it's legal to do drugs on your own private property. And I was like, "Oh, really?" I said, "Well, why was he talking about that? Why was he talking about drugs?" And he said, "Oh, because he was saying that he gets drunk." And I was like, "Oh, because his friend is 11. Okay, 11. I'm like, "Oh, so your friend is saying that he's getting drunk, right?" And I said, "Well, did you tell him about alcohol and what can happen, when you drink and how you could hurt somebody or what could happen to you if you drink?" And he goes, "Mom, that is just not cool to me. I think he's just trying to be cool, and it's not cool." And I was like, yes. But what I tell him, I said, when he says stuff like that, you should tell him, say, "Hey, Kyle, my mom is a recovering alcoholic, and she actually drank so much that she crashed her car and almost killed her and my dad," or tell him those situations that your mom has been there and she knows what it's like, and you don't want to make the same mistakes as she has. But he's super smart, y'all. Like he's like, "That's not cool," and I know it's not cool, and I was like, "You're right, it's not cool." I was like, "You don't have to impress anyone." And I was like, "And especially, you're not going to impress somebody by talking about drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol are super dangerous. Fentanyl is being put in everything, right, that people can put it in. And so I'm like really ahead of the times teaching my son." Yes. I love my son. I'm so glad that he feels comfortable enough to come talk to me too, y'all. It's awesome. It's freaking awesome. And yeah, and the way that I have been able to like nurture that is that when he comes to me and he says things like, "Mom, I need to talk to you about something," and then he tells me or whatever, I do not freak out. I do not go, "What? Why is he saying that? What's his mom saying?" I do not freak out, right? I will just, like today I said, "Well, why do you think he was saying that?" Well, or I'll ask questions, I'll ask more questions to get more information about the situation, but I do not react, because that's something that I used to would have done was, and get all worried. Nope, you can't do that, because then he's going to know that I'm upset, that I'm scared or worried. And so that's why I'm just like, it's chill, it's all good. And I'm so happy that he's able to talk to me. He's 8 years old, you guys, and he's already having situations where his friends are talking about drugs and alcohol, Mallory, can she talk, Mallory? What is she? What is she? What is her special needs? My nephew is on the spectrum. They used to call it Asperger's syndrome, but now they just say on the autism spectrum. And he didn't talk until he was like 4 or 5 years old. But once he started talking, my mom got him into all kinds of different therapies, right? And he also was running around with me. And I'm a big mouth, and I'm talking, I'm da-da-da-da-da. So my little nephew went from being nonverbal and like socially awkward to being like me. He's like literally be in the house and he doesn't get overstimulated where we're all talking and we're all super loud. Like he's right there in the middle with all of us. Isn't that awesome? Because he has become That's what he was raised in. That's how he was raised. And so he has been able to adapt to it and like grow in his social skills, which is really awesome. Heck yeah, it makes me worry. Yes. Okay, girl. Okay, Heather. I've got my two-year therapy. Oh, my 2-year-old in speech therapy now. He has never said one word. I hope it's nothing, but I worry. Oh, hey, Barbie, that's okay. That's good that you have him in speech therapy. That's really, really good. Deb says, I'm having a hard time with the weight I put on since recovery. You should do the healthy eating with me. And listen, here's the thing, like, just because they haven't spoke yet doesn't mean that they're not going to speak. And you know what you could be doing right now? If your baby's not speaking and he's 2, sign. Start signing with him, okay? Get yourself the ASL book to learn American Sign Language and start signing with your child. So that way he can communicate with you. That's what my mom, because my mom used to work for a school that's developmentally delayed, for children that are developmentally delayed, and they all learned to sign. Hey, Shannon, what's up, girl? Thanks for coming in, baby. Oh, that's good, Barbie. So finally, I just started my weight loss journey, and I posted my weight loss that I have lost so far. So I started out at 234, and now I'm 207. So let me see. Hold on just a second. Okay. So I've lost 27 pounds. Okay? 27 pounds. Now, what's this month? August? July. So it was probably like June. It was around the time my dad's birthday was June 4th. So it was after my dad's birthday, because I remember going to my dad's birthday and pigging out over at their house. So after my dad's birthday, I came back to Little Rock, and that's when I started like drastically cutting my portions. Okay. So I went from eating about anywhere from 3 to 8,000 calories a day to eating 1,200 or less. Serious, okay, really, really serious. And I had to get on a dietary supplement to help with my appetite. So I got the True V Boost. I really like that. And if you can't get True V, I'm trying to find another alternative for you guys, but I have to look around and see what I think is like comparable. But it has to be the Boost. If you're going to get the True V, it has to be the Boost, not just the True V. Yeah, well, it helps with my appetite. So here's the thing. Because of me binge eating for so long, I have stretched my stomach out to a point of no return, right? And so because of my stomach being stretched out, I could just feel it. And I would not have like a feeling of being full. I wouldn't get that feeling of having the hunger feeling. You know, when you haven't eaten anything, you're hungry. I hadn't felt like that in years because of me just constantly shoving food in my fucking mouth. And it just, all that was turned off, right? My hunger was turned off, and then my fullness was turned off. So what I had to do was I had to start doing something that was going to help me to suppress my appetite, because I had just, and it wasn't even like an appetite. It's more like a habit of just mindlessly shoveling food, right? Mindlessly shoveling food to where it was like a habit. It was like smoking a cigarette. That, like smoking a cigarette. That's what it was like for me with food. Okay? It was like smoking a cigarette. And so after I left my mom and dad's house in the middle of June is when I started. And I came home and I don't know what I did, but I came home, took a shower, and I was like in my underwear in my bathroom over there. And I was just looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate the way I look. I hate my body. Right? I was like, what? I hate it. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I look. I feel like shit. I feel like shit. I look like shit. My stomach was constantly like really, really, really poked out. And so even though I still have a belly, right? Because I'm not going to say I don't have a belly, but my stomach is like, it used to be like this and really hard and full. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it was fucking packed full. Now it's like, it's getting to where it's not being like that anymore. And that, Jennifer, I have gotten to the point where I haven't gone anywhere all summer long. I've only went to the beach 1 or 2 times. You know why? Because I'm ashamed. You know why? Because I don't want to walk around with my I don't like the way my shirt feels on my body, with the way my bra straps feel on my body, the way my little fupa roll feels. I don't like it. I don't want to walk around feeling like nasty all the time. And that's how I felt 24/7, all day long. For years, it's been going on for years. But I will tell you this, it just recently got really bad because I was 200 pounds, right? Well, within the last probably 2 years, I went from 200 pounds to 234 pounds. So I put on a whole nother 34 pounds. And when I put on that extra 34 pounds, that fucked me up. That fucked me up for real. And that is what really fucking started pushing me over the edge. Because I couldn't take it, man. I couldn't take it. And here's the thing, you guys. Like, yeah, I'm a beautiful woman. I know I'm a beautiful woman. I know I'm pretty, right? But being overweight makes me look like a slob. It makes me look lazy. It makes people not take me seriously. It makes people think that that I don't care about myself. It puts out a bad impression. It really, really does. And I'm on social media, putting my life and myself out online for, all these people to see. And I want to put my best foot forward, but I'm a very transparent person. And so, yeah, I've struggled with my weight and I haven't been putting my best foot forward, but I've been showing my life and just what it is. It's been the realness. It's real, it's real. Deb, you are beautiful. And so that's why, I tried to get behind the whole, plus size support, plus size bodies and blah, 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 blah. But, I can't fully get behind that because I honestly don't believe that I'm not healthy. My cholesterol level's high and my blood pressure's high. Do you know why? Because I'm fat. Because I'm fat. I had plantar fasciitis in my foot. You know why? Because I'm fat. And so basically what happened is I just fucking got tired, y'all. what happened is I was getting pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. I was getting made fun of about my weight. I was getting ridiculed about my weight. People were posting shit about me online about my weight and like poking at me about my weight. You know what I mean? To the point where it got to me enough to where I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this and I'm going to fucking do it as revenge. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to show those low down, good for nothing bitches who were fucking making fun of me when I was struggling. I'm going to show them. You know, and it takes a lot of courage to, you know, come online and actively speak about being overweight and struggling with your weight and talking about it in front of people. Oh yeah, honey, I've lost 27 pounds. Have you, look, I went from 234 to 207. I got the video uploaded here on my TikTok so that way y'all could see me standing on the scale, because I knew I didn't want to come on here and just say it. I wanted y'all to see it, you know? And so it's not a diet that I'm on. I have changed the way I eat. Hey, Diana, what's up, girl? I have changed the way I eat. All right. Straight up. Straight up. All right. I went from literally shoveling food into my face 24/7. Okay. To eating breakfast in the morning. Then eating a little something at 1, maybe like, I don't know, a turkey sandwich or a chicken breast or maybe a burrito, just something. And then at night, before I go to bed, before 6 o'clock, I would have something else. Maybe some Chinese chicken and rice, maybe a Subway sandwich. It could be anything. I eat carbs. I eat whatever I want. I eat whatever I want. I just don't eat a lot of it. I eat a small amount of calories. And so my body is in a calorie deficit. And so, like, all these things that people try to tell you to do, like keto and all that kind of stuff, all you have to do is take in less calories than you burn, okay? So if you are like me and you live a sedentary life where you work from home and you're behind a desk, basically, then what you can do is you can go online, and there's ways to calculate what your caloric deficit should be. So I had a guy that is a trainer guy, and I asked him to do mine for me. Mine is anywhere from 1,200 to 1,700 calories. Yeah, so blunts, I totally understand. So like my husband and my son, they get pizza. We get pizza a lot. So when they get pizza, I get one piece. I get one piece of the pizza, maybe 2 if it's thin crust. And then I cut myself off. Now there's things that I can eat, like I'll eat like a bunch of hard-boiled eggs, not a bunch, but like more than, 1 or 2, or salad. I can eat a little bit more of that than normal. Like anything that's like vegetable, I can eat more of than normal. Just regular meat, I'll eat more of than normal. The thing about it is that I have a lot of carbohydrates in my diet, so that is what keeps me. If I could actually eliminate some of the carbohydrates that I have in my diet, I'd probably be a lot farther ahead in my weight loss. Yeah, so that's why I try to explain to people that it's like the switch is off. So unless you have like an eating disorder, you won't understand. But like for those of us that have binge eating disorder, that full switch, the full and the hungry switches are broken. Like you could either, it don't work at all. And so there's a medication that I've been seeing people that have been talking about it that's called Wegovy, and it's an injection. And these girls that I've been seeing, they've been doing really great, and they've lost a bunch of weight taking it, the Wegovy injection. I think it's like Saxenda or Ozempic, but that's been helping them a whole bunch. For me, what happens is I have to get fed up. Okay? I have to get angry at myself. And that's what has happened. I have gotten angry with myself. You know, I have been sober for 7 fucking years. 7 years. There's no reason why I should look like a fucking behemoth with 7 years sober. I should be at my best right now. You understand? I should be in a lot better place. But I have slacked. You know? I'm just telling y'all the truth, you know? I'm just telling y'all the truth. We got to do my skincare. And I've got these new eyeshadows that are coming in this week, you guys. Y'all are going to love them. And I got me a palette for them to go into, so don't worry about that. What is this? Yeah, a late start is better than no start. Exactly. And I called my dad to tell my dad, and he was like, good job. What are you going to get down to, like 140 or 150? And I was like, no, Dad, I don't think I'm going to get down that low. I'll probably go down to like 160 and stay at that. Because when I get down to like 140, 150, it's just a little too small for me. So I don't want to go too small and then be all looking funny. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's do my skincare. Oh, hey, Ifa. What's up? Thanks for coming in, honey. Okay, let's do this. We're going to use our AHA, BHA exfoliating cleanser. Absolutely, Caitlin. So that's what I was trying to explain to my doctor whenever I was trying to get help. I was trying to explain to him that I just needed help to get started, because what happens is I get so discouraged at the beginning because I don't see any changes that I will kind of just like give up. And so I was asking my doctor to help me with some kind of, weight loss medication, the shot, whatever it is, a pill, whatever, just to help me get a head start. And my doctor was worthless. Because I know what works for me when it comes to losing weight. I know exactly what works. I know exactly like how it works and what's going to happen, right? My zodiac is Pisces, March 8th. So what was I saying? Oh, I know what works. And I know that at the beginning, I need a little kickstart. You know what I mean? That's why I went ahead and got reordered the True V. Okay? Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. True V is great at the beginning, but then what happens is your body gets used to it. Your body gets used to it, so it doesn't have the same effect that it did. So what you have to do is like take it 1 week, or take it like on one day, off the next day, because if not, then it just like your body becomes like immune to it. You know what I mean? So, but this is exactly how I started last time I lost a bunch of weight. So when I got out of prison in 2010, I was 210 pounds when I got out of prison. That was the heaviest I had ever been back then. And so when I got out of prison, I, as long as I need to, once, as long as I need to, probably, I mean, I don't think it'll be forever though, probably until I get to my goal, and then once I get to my goal, I'll just maintain it, you know what I mean? But it's just like an appetite suppressant, you know what I mean? Like it's not doing anything else, it's just, oh yeah, well it does give you a little bit of energy, because it has kind of like a stimulant, but it's not like a bad stimulant. Like it's one that you can pass a drug test with. You know what I mean? I forgot the name of it. I'll have to look it up and I'll tell you guys about it after we wash my face. But whenever I came out of prison in 2009, I got on the bandwagon. I started eating my 1,200 calories a day. Okay? I was working every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I would go into work my job. I worked at the deli, so I would have a little turkey sandwich for lunch. And then when I would get off at 2, I would go home and get changed, and I would go walk the big damn bridge every day. Just walking, okay? No, True V Boost. It's an appetite suppressant. I have used it before in the past. And I would do that walking, right, every day, Monday through Friday. And I lost 65 pounds doing that. So I know that I can do it. I've done it before. You know, I've lost weight before. I just got to do it. And my problem that I was having this time, and the reason why I was having so many times that I would start and then fall off, is because I would start and then I would like be doing it for like 2 weeks, and I would have no results at all, and it would be so discouraging, you know. And so I went ahead and I got the True V. I started taking the True V, and I started. I said I'm not going to weigh myself. I'll weigh myself at the beginning, and then I'm not going to weigh myself for 2 weeks, okay? And so I started the True V, and then I, went on about my day, okay? I eat the same things, I just eat less. And 2 weeks later, I came, and I was 234 when I started, and 2 weeks later, I got on the scale, and it was like 221 or 220 something. And I was like, holy shit, it's working, you know? So that really helped me, like, with my self-confidence and made me want to keep going, you know? Hey, buddy, what's up? What'd y'all go do?
We got movie stuff.
Huh? Okay. But that made me want to keep doing it, you know what I mean? And so that's what I was trying to explain to my doctor, is that I need that little boost to help me get inspired, you know? But it's okay. Screw him. Okay, so that is the vitamin C, Super C retinol. Okay. And then we're going to get, let's get this all situated. Then I want to use an oil. So. What'd y'all get to eat, Neil?
Mom, I need to do something.
Okay. Okay. Okay, we're going to use this one. This is the squalene. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. I gotta order more of my peel stuff. Okay, so there's that. Then, excuse me. Then we're going to take, excuse me, y'all. Okay, this is for brightness and texture. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of these, like that. And then we're going to take some lactic acid. I'll put that right there and mix it together. Okay. And then we're going to massage it in. I need one of those gua sha things, you know what I'm saying? Those make your skin like, you can massage it with the gua shas. So, whoop. Cool. I'll wash this one. Yeah, buddy, what's up? You did?
Yeah.
Cool, dude. Hey, Raquel, what's up, girl?
So can you come and log into your computer?
I suppose. I love you. All right, there you go, dude. Don't forget to wear your blue light glasses. Okay, so there we got that. Now we're going to do our hair. Our hair skincare. Our hair care. Okay. Do you guys do hair care and skincare at night? So this is something that I've been doing since I got sober. And it helps me a lot to it just helps me with my overall mood and all that good stuff.
No, it didn't work.
It didn't work?
No.
Oh, man. Oh, wait a second. I think you need to hook it up Bluetooth, don't you?
Well, wait.
Ask Daddy to come here, Nate.
Dad's gonna do nothing. He can be like,
Okay. Take my rings off. And we'll get this stuff right here, which is the Olaplex.
Mom, come and look.
Okay, I'm coming, Nate. Let's go see what he has. What he's got going on.
Your computer wasn't so
My computer's not trash. It's brand new. What are you talking about? Why are you pushing it like that? You don't have to do it that hard. You don't have to do it that hard, Nate. Do not be rude to me.
Look, it doesn't work.
Okay. Now, let me see this. Okay. Because I need to go to my settings down here.
You said PC?
Hey, non-binary, what's up? Okay. Okay. Scoot over. Okay. All right.
It's not the 8-bit.
Add device. Is that turned on?
Yeah.
It is? Okay.
There. Try to unplug it and plug it back in. TY.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Hold on a second.
Tried it. That doesn't work. Try the 8-bit because I know that works. Try that. I mean, we didn't have to connect that one because this one literally already wireless connects.
So
should I just do this one? Plug it in.
Well, I just want to make sure this is hooked up. So I guess it's hooked up. Yeah. Because it says that it's hooked up. So I think we're gonna be
Connect to this. Put that in there. Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Don't worry. There we go. Okay.
That worked for sure. It literally always works.
Okay, which one is it?
The 8-bit. The
That?
app. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it says these are connected. Okay? So let's see if it works. All right, so what do we do?
GTA.
Right here? Okay. Go ahead. Let me know if it works, okay? We're trying to get his controller to work on my computer. Okay, so now we are going to use the Olaplex bonding oil. $28 for this little bottle, so I'm going to use it till the whole thing goes, till the wheels roll off, right? Did it work?
I don't know.
Okay, baby. Okay, there's that. It doesn't work. Okay, go to the settings in the game, Nate. In the game, go to the settings to make sure that you have. Okay, so there's that, and then we're done. Okay, guys. I need to get a new one of these because I have used it up. And bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Dad? Oh. Okay, what are y'all doing? Y'all are being quiet.
Hello, everybody.
Okay. So I guess, if you guys don't have anything else y'all want to talk about, I'll jump off here. If y'all have any questions before I go ahead and speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, people? So we're going to get this hair brushed out. And that's our skincare and our hair care for the evening. So bada bing, bada boom. So what we were talking about was my weight loss journey and how I have been doing with that. I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up a little bit on that. So, yeah, what my next step in my weight loss journey is to start incorporating walking, just like I did whenever I lost the 65 pounds. Once I incorporate that walking, yeah, that's going to be a game changer, okay? A game changer. Because I haven't been moving my body. You know, working from home, I haven't been moving. True V Boost. I remember I took it last year and I loved it. Trashly was selling it. So, oh yeah, I want to show you guys my son has my computer. Okay, so True V has let me see. I gotta charge this phone and then I will whenever I get at a gym membership or something like that. But right now I don't have anything like that. So I'm just gonna use what I got, you know? Then once I start, so here's the thing. I want to get below 200 pounds before I start going into the gym and trying to work out in front of people. Do you know what I'm saying? Now I'll tell you guys this. I was doing mad fucking workouts online with my friend Nick. For those of you guys that don't know, I have a YouTube channel, and on that YouTube channel, I put everything. And so it was probably the beginning of 2020. My best friend Nick is a personal trainer, and he was personal training me online. And we were doing the workouts with you guys on live stream. It was awesome. It was awesome. And they were kicking my ass and taking my name. Okay, when I tell you this dude had me doing what are they called? Planks and burpees, and it was hardcore, dude. Hardcore. Okay, so that's on. Okay, I need to get this and charge it. And when I do start working out, I'm going to want to work out to tighten my my arms, you know, right here. I want to tighten that. And then my legs though, you guys, I'll show you guys my legs. Honestly, I have fucking brick shithouse legs. My legs are fucking, they look good. I'm just heavy up here. This is where all my weight goes to, is in my midsection, because everywhere else I'm good to go. So yeah, so this guy's my friend, so that's what makes it easy, you know what I mean? Is that he's my friend and I don't have to pay him. Oh my God. Do you know what I did in 2020? Because I was psycho, I actually joined CrossFit. Okay. Because he wanted me to. He was like, please do it, Nicole. And I was like, fine, dude, I'm going to do it. So I signed up for CrossFit, you guys, and I almost died when I tell you, I would take my son with me, and it was during the middle of the fucking summer, okay? Middle of the summer. No air condition in this building, okay? No air condition. Doing burpees, lifting weights, like weights that are like, heavy, okay? I thought that I was going to have a heart attack. I went to the course. I did all the courses that I was supposed to do because I paid for it, and I wasn't about to not do it. And then I said, fuck you, dude, I'm out of here after I finished the things I paid for because it was just too much. Oh, gosh, it was horrible, dude. Horrible. Yeah, so I'm lucky because my legs are pretty muscular from all the stuff I did when I was younger. Like in high school, I did a lot of extracurricular stuff like football, or not football, but like, what's it called? Softball and all that. So I got lucky. So this is what I'm working with right here. Okay, so before I started losing weight, like this was like out to here, dude. Like I can't explain it to you guys, but this is what I'm working with, trying to get rid of. And I keep on feeling it right here because that's how I can tell like it's going down and it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And I'm so fucking happy about it too. Sorry, I'm cutting my toenails. Even my husband said something, you guys. So the other night, we were like, getting intimate, and he goes, wow, I can really tell that you've lost weight. And I was like, really, really where? And he's like, in your stomach. And I was like, thank God. Like, cause that's, that's my problem area. That's where I feel the most insecure, is about my belly. Always that damn belly. But it'll be okay. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to get all this weight off. And then people are going to be like, dang, girl. Thanks, Kim. How'd you do it? I'm going to have all these shirts. Oh, yeah. This is my shirt I got from Brandy's website. If y'all don't know, Brandy, I'm working with her, her boutique now. So if you use my code, Nicole, you get 20% off. Oh yeah, I want to read something to you guys. Okay. Let's see what this is. Oh. What book is this? Hero of the Underground. Oh, this is a book about addiction that I got when I was in treatment. So when I was in rehab, this is when I went to rehab that my son got taken away from me. I'm reading this. This is from my son's first birthday that I missed because I was in rehab. this was from a girl that I did meth with. She was in prison, and she found out that I got popped by CPS, and she wrote me while I was in treatment. Isn't that funny? Yeah. Anyway, I thought this was a diary. That's why I pulled it down, because I wanted to read it to you guys, but it's not a diary. Oh, cool. This is a change plan worksheet. Oh wow, we're gonna work with that. Using matrix with women clients. Ooh, y'all. We're fixing to learn how to do some recovery. Yes. Okay. Yes. I'm fixing to help y'all. Okay, so how many of you guys want to do this with me? This is literally a workbook that they were using in the treatment center that I was going to. Okay, so it says, welcome to the Matrix Women's Group. Congratulations on completing the early recovery groups. Women who have completed ER groups in the Matrix model of intensive outpatient treatment are eligible to attend the women's groups while they are continuing in relapse prevention. Okay, this is going to be awesome. Look at this, you guys. This is my paperwork, the state of Arkansas, when they took Nathaniel. It says, Arkansas Department of Human Services against Nicole DeMayo and Neil Pludre. Plaintiff of department brings to this action. As a result of drug abuse, neglect, and parental unfitness to the juvenile, a sibling, or another juvenile as defined in the Arkansas Juvenile Code. The facts concerning the alleged dependency neglect are contained in an affidavit attached hereto and incorporated herein. The above identified juvenile does not have a court-appointed attorney ad litem. An attorney ad litem is required to be appointed. The removal from parental or custodial care is necessary to protect health, safety, and physical well-being. Okay, so the parent should be ordered to provide the court with a permanent mailing address. The parent should be ordered to provide the names and addresses of adult grandparents. Okay. So I'm going to read it to y'all. I haven't seen this in forever. A 72-hour hold was taken on my son. Legal custody was removed from Nicole on 7/1/2015. Just like I tell y'all my story. The mother, Nicole DeMayo, and the father tested positive for opiates, oxycodone, benzodiazepines, and bupropion, which bupropion is Wellbutrin. Both parents admitted to having past addictions with drugs. Nicole has admitted to having used methamphetamines. Nicole also admitted to having treatment for addiction to pills and receiving treatment through RCA. On June 24, 2015, the agency received a report from the Child Abuse Hotline with allegations of inadequate supervision. The allegations stated that Nicole and my son were high, or Nicole and Neil were really high and out of their mind, that they are unable to care for their son. While they were high, Nathaniel was left in a dirty diaper. This is a lie. And poop was running up his back. Remember, this is all Tara. It also states that the child was filthy. Okay, so I want y'all to think about this. My mother and father-in-law lived with us whenever all this stuff was starting to happen. Anytime that I would leave my son in my mother and father-in-law's care. Like, I never, ever left him dirty or nasty or anything like that. And so when I read this, it literally makes my blood boil. But this is how I knew that it was her, because at first I was like, who would call CPS on me? But then when I got to see this and read what was written, that's how I knew it was her. The report states that Nicole and Neil used meth. The reporter also believed that the child was underweight. My son was perfect. If not, he was overweight. Oh, investigation. So she had to make sure that it was extra believable. And so that's what makes this even more like angry, makes me even more angry, because for 6.5 years, that bitch would not admit that she called them on me, right? She was fucking denying it till the end. And then 6.5 years later, she finally fucking copped to it and said, I'm the one who called CPS on you. Well, no shit. No shit. You know? Ugh. Reading this is just making me so mad right now. Sorry. When the allegations came in, there was no address. Weaver was able to get the address for the family from a resource. FSW made a visit to the address provided to her, but there was no answer on the door. Later on 6/25, FSW Weaver returned to the home again, and there was no answer. FSW Weaver returned to the home on 6/26, and there was no answer. FSW contacted on 6/26 again and called Miss DeMayo and left her a message asking her if FSW could come out on Sunday the 28th. FSW received a message back from DeMayo stating that the family would not be available. FSW did make a trip out to the home, but no one answered the door. July 1st receives a call from Nicole stating that she could meet that day, and Nicole came up to the office. FSW told Nicole that she needed to take a drug test. On the way to the restroom, Nicole stated that she would be positive for pills. See, I'm straight up, always. I've always been straight up. That she did not have a prescription for them. Miss DeMayo tested positive for opiates, oxycodone, and benzodiazepines, and Wellbutrin. FSW asked DeMayo if she uses methamphetamines. Miss DeMayo stated that she has used methamphetamines in the past, but, and this is, I told a lie. I said, but it had been a couple of years, because whenever she had me back there in the bathroom, she said to me, we don't take your kids unless you test positive for meth. What's up, baby?
I was looking for that.
And so I was like trying to tell her, oh, well, you don't have to worry about me. You know what I mean? Miss DeMayo stated that she has used methamphetamines in the past. She has never been in treatment, or Miss DeMayo, FSW asked Miss DeMayo if she had ever been in treatment. Miss DeMayo stated that she had been in treatment for RCA in 2012 for pills. They asked Miss DeMayo if Mr. Pludre would test positive, and Miss DeMayo said he would for the same thing she would. Weaver made a home visit to the family home where she was met by the punitive father, Neil Pludre, and explained the allegations to them. Pludre took the drug test and said he would be positive for the same thing. Mr. Pludre said he didn't, but he used to, when he broke his back, have a problem. FSW asked Mr. Pludre if he was using methamphetamine. He said no. FSW initially put a protection plan in place with the thought that Miss DeMayo would go to rehabilitation at Arkansas Cares. Okay, so remember when I told you guys they were putting a RCA as a treatment center. They were putting a safety plan in place, and so that way Nate wouldn't get taken away, and I would be able to take him and go to treatment with him in my care. Listen to this. However, on July 2nd, we were contacted by Arkansas Cares, and Nicole was not accepted into the program. Do you want to know why I wasn't accepted into the program? Because I had private insurance, and they didn't take that. They only took fucking Medicaid. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, when that happened, what they should have done, what the state should have done of Arkansas, they should have said, hey, we want her to go to this center. We will waive it, whatever we have to do, so that way this mother can go into treatment with her child. And that way, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason why they couldn't have overridden that for us. Miss DeMayo completed high school, the 12th grade. She has no physical diagnosis, but is on medication for depression. DeMayo is not of Native American tribe and has never been married. This is DeMayo's only child. Neil is full-time employed, has a master's degree, does not have any physical conditions, but is on medication for depression. He's not a part of the American tribe, and he is divorced, but the year is unknown. So it says the child was removed from the parents' physical custody due to their continuous drug use. DCFS has multiple concerns about DeMayo and Neil, their positive drug screens for opiates and benzos, and their history of substance abuse. And they wouldn't know any of that if I hadn't provided them with that information. Do you see what I'm telling you guys? So that's when I tell y'all, if they ever come to your house, don't let them in. Don't talk to them. Get a lawyer. I provided them with all the information that they're using against me now. Okay? In addition, the agency is deeply concerned for this child's safety and well-being due to the caretaker's substance misuse because it is seriously affecting their ability to supervise, protect, or care for this child. The parents have subjected the child to neglect in that they have failed to take reasonable action to protect the juvenile from neglect. The child is less than 1 year old and therefore requires 24/7 supervision. By the parents' drug use, they are unfit to provide the supervision and care that the 1 year old needs. The parents have long-standing drug histories. Again, they wouldn't know if I hadn't fucking told them, okay? And have been using multiple drugs recently. If the child was returned to the mother's custody, the child would be at a substantial risk of harm. And that's literally how they were able to take my child from me. If y'all didn't listen, a lot of the information, they took the information that I gave them being honest and used it against me, okay? If I had kept my mouth shut and said nothing and just took my drug test or whatever and Neil, then what would have happened is I probably would have had my son in a safety plan and, gone into a different treatment center and my mother and father-in-law would have had him or whatever. But because I opened up my big ass mouth, they used a lot of the stuff that I said against me, which sucks too. What makes me so mad when I'm reading this is the fucking part of what she said about my son, because you guys, I want you to listen to me. When I was with Tara, I was with Tara all the time, so we were getting high together. And so she would also come and take my baby and spend time with him and change his diaper and play with him. And I would tell her, no, you can't leave with him because he's staying with my mother and father-in-law. You can come over and say hi to him and give him a hug and a kiss, but you cannot take him. And she always wanted to take my son with her, but I wouldn't let her. It pisses me off so bad. The court authorizes to obtain and disclose protected health information and psychotherapy notes. Parents are ordered to provide the court with a permanent mailing address. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Damn, that makes me so mad. Oh well, it's over and done with now. What could be true? I just hadn't seen this. I hadn't seen it since when it happened. And so seeing this and seeing like how much she said to kind of like make sure that my son, was removed from my care, like it just makes me so mad, dude. Like I want to take a picture of it and send it to her and be like, dude, what, you really fucking... Oh well, it's over and done with. I'm telling you guys though, a lot of the information though is information that I provided. So, because when it starts out with the investigation, all of this is what I provided them. If I had just went and taken the drug test and failed for the opiates and benzos, my husband too, and that's it, and kept my mouth shut, not said anything about being to treatment before, not saying anything about having issues with methamphetamine, and just my lips, we would have been in a lot better situation. But I was so afraid that I thought I was supposed to be honest. I thought I was supposed to tell them everything. You know what I mean? No, you're not supposed to tell them shit. Okay? I should have immediately gotten a lawyer and just told them to sit on it and spin, because they didn't even have a court order at this time when they came into my home. See, and I allowed them to come in. And so I should have never allowed them.
Restart road. Go down one. No. Oh, yes, restart. Did not connect. Check password and try again.
Yeah, I did do the right thing, because after that, the caseworker that I had, she quit literally the next week, and they assigned me a new one, and her name was Kawachi Williams. And when I tell you guys, she loved me. She loved my son. She literally loved Nathaniel, and she wanted us to get Nathaniel back. She was such a great help and support. But man, I'm shaking. I'm so mad. Okay.
I don't know what password.
What?
What was the password that we used?
Capital FEB 202019.
For the Nate thing?
For what?
No, it's for the Nate.
It's Nate P7414. Okay, so this is what I want to do with you guys, okay?
I don't think
It is like reading what she wrote and how she said that she thought my son was underweight. Y'all don't even understand how much bullshit that is. Like,
underweight
no,
son.
this is when you were tiny, Nate. It's like lies. Okay, saying that he was underweight, that there was poop all over him. Like, you have no idea. Like, my son was so spoiled that he could pee one time and we were changing his diaper because he has sensitive skin like his daddy. So I couldn't, like, I didn't leave him in diapers at all because he would get a little rash if I did, you know? And so just reading that, it makes my freaking blood boil. Oh my fucking God. Okay, so you know how I was telling you guys that whenever you are beginning your recovery, right? Oh, girl, I just found my CPS casework paperwork, and I was just reading to them the investigation and the fucking lies that Tara, and that what makes it even more angry is that Tara smoked meth with me, shot meth with me every single day, and she was calling them on me. Like, what? So, anyways, just like I tell you guys, have a calendar so you can plan your days. That's our calendar, right? And so it says daily and hourly schedule, okay? So there's that. Okay, here we go. This is what we're going to start out with, okay? How healthy are my relationships? Are y'all ready? Most humans find relationships a very important part of their lives. Women seem to find this even truer, often having large networks of family and friends to provide support, comfort, and friendship.
Mom, where's my phone?
Right here. However, when women become involved with substances, they often find themselves in less healthy, less supportive relationships. Sometimes the substance becomes the only important relationship one has. Okay? Looking at your relationships, which have been good and why. Okay? Looking at your relationships, which have been good and why. So if I was answering this as Nicole back then, I would have no relationship listed. Because all my relationships were drug relationships. I could list my mom and dad, you know, or my husband, but none of my relationships were healthy. But now that I'm in recovery and I've got some time underneath my belt, I'm going to answer these questions like that. Looking at your relationships, which have been good. So I would put that me and my husband's relationship has been good. I would say that me and my sisters have a good relationship. Parents. And why? So me and my husband got sober, and that helped our relationship, right? I made amends to my sisters, living amends, and then amends with my mom and dad, and that really helped it too, you know. So next, which relationships have been unhealthy and why? So you guys can like really sit there and like look at your relationships that you have in your life right now. Okay. So you've already picked out the relationships that have been healthy. Okay. Now what relationships are negative? What relationships are dragging you down? For example, I have a friend of mine here on TikTok. She has a relationship with a person on this app who is always accusing her of stealing their content, always making her feel like left out. And to me, that would be an unhealthy relationship, you know? Another unhealthy relationship could be like maybe you have somebody in your life who is still drinking and using drugs, and they're coming around you and not respecting your boundaries. Or maybe you have an unhealthy relationship with your mother-in-law or father-in-law, and y'all don't get along.
That's exactly what happens here.
Yep. But I make it work, don't I? Have you ever used a substance to try to improve a relationship? Have you ever used a substance to try to improve a relationship? Well, sure I have. Yes. And I'll tell you when it was. So back when I was 17 years old, okay, I was dating a guy named Robert, right? And Robert kept telling me if I would lose 5 more pounds that I would be perfect. Just 5 more pounds. And so I started using methamphetamine to lose weight so that way I could lose that 5 more pounds. Sad, huh? How did using a substance to improve the relationship work for you? Did it change the relationship over time? Please describe. So how did using the substance improve the relationship? So did it work? So honestly, using methamphetamine did not improve my relationship with my boyfriend back then. What ended up happening is I started to pull away and be like very secretive and quiet and just I wasn't connecting with him anymore. So I would say using did not help. It caused me to isolate. Okay. Have you ever used substances because you were afraid of what the other person in the relationship might do to you? Have you ever used substances because you were afraid of what the other person in the relationship might do to you? So when I was in a relationship with LD, he was physically abusive to me, physically, mentally, and verbally abusive to me. And I used opiates to stay checked out of life because I didn't want to be present, because when I was present, he was bouncing my head off the concrete. You know what I'm saying? And so being high helped me to escape that feeling. I used to escape physical, verbal, and mental abuse. That's sad. Did you feel that your drug use worked to keep you safe? Please describe. So I saw a video today that Zach made, Harm Reduction Zach, and he actually made a video about how his drug addiction is actually what kept him alive. Because of his family dynamic, they weren't accepting of him and his sexual orientation, right? And so they were like shaming him, and he was really depressed, and he started using drugs and alcohol, and that's what helped him not commit suicide. It helped him stay alive. So did you feel that your drug use worked to keep you safe? Please describe. I feel like my using kept me checked out. So I wouldn't care so much. Okay. Once you quit using, you may begin to look at the relationships lost and the damage done during the illness. In recovery, many women begin thinking about taking better care of themselves by looking for or trying to improve their relationships. Recovery is a time to both rebuild and discover relationships which enrich one's life. What qualities do you look for in a healthy relationship? Okay, I want every one of you guys to put a quality that you look for in a healthy relationship. Okay? First quality that I look for in a healthy relationship is kindness. 2, honesty. 3, let's think. Let me think. Kindness, honesty, respect. Reliability. That's a good one. Thank you. Thank you. Reliability. What's some other things that we look for in a relationship, a healthy relationship? Help me out here, you guys. So I got kindness, honesty, respect, reliability. I know. Hardworking. Okay. I know. Well-spoken. Smart. Let's think. Let me think. In a healthy relationship, somebody that can compromise. Understanding. So y'all get it. Okay. What unhealthy qualities have you seen in relationships? Now, this one we should be able to do good. What unhealthy qualities have you seen in relationships? Lying, cheating, undependable, lazy.
You want somebody lazy?
Angry. No, this is the ones we don't want. Okay, putting us down. That's a good one. So, Nate, stop. Low self-esteem, insecure, because if you got a guy who is insecure, low self-esteem, low self-worth, they're most likely gonna take what they'll do is they'll take that on you. You know what I mean? And try to beat you down to pull themselves up. How would you describe the relationship you want? How would you guys describe the relationship that you want? I would say I want a relationship that, Nate, stop, is built on trust, love, and understanding. If this isn't what you have now, how might you change this? So I honestly respect, that's a good one too. Respect. I think that honestly, you guys, I feel like me and Neil have a pretty solid relationship, a pretty healthy relationship. We don't fight. We don't yell and scream at each other. We both contribute to the household. We both have jobs and we both work, our jobs and contribute. We both are honest and dependable. We both respect each other. We both have learned how to compromise, give and take. The only thing that we need to work on is trust. And that's just because, things have happened in the past that have made that trust a little shaky. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, that is the first little thing, the little exercise, which was about relationships. Okay. So what we'll do is, I like this, you guys. And we can get into it and write like a whole bunch more. Without friends, no one would want to live, even if he had all other goods. Aristotle says that. Okay? And the next one is feeling overwhelmed. Okay? So I'm excited. The next one we'll do tomorrow. But it talks about trauma. Trauma can present in many different ways. Oh, wow. Have you ever experienced or seen physical abuse as a child, as an adult? Oh, that's going to be a good one. Okay. All right. So I'm going to jump off here, I guess, you guys, unless y'all want to talk about something else. If y'all want to talk about something, come on. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Make sure, yeah, I got that calendar. I really like that. Yeah, you are. Cool. I'm just gonna. This was a personality quiz I did like a long time ago. Okay. All right, you guys. Holler at me. I think I'm going to literally. I'm going to burn this. That's how much I don't ever want to see it ever again. It makes me so mad. It's the old paperwork from whenever you got taken away from me.
Can I burn it with you?
Yeah, you can burn it with me. Something. Before I go, I'm going to read something to you guys. Okay? 7 dimensions of wellness. Spiritual. The ability to establish peace and harmony in our lives. Emotional. The ability to understand ourselves and cope with the challenges life can bring. Intellectual. The ability to open our minds to new ideas and experiences. Physical, the ability to maintain a healthy quality of life that allows us to get through our daily activities without undue fatigue or physical stress. Social, the ability to relate to and connect with other people. Environmental, the quality of our air, water, and land. The way we make money is the financial one. Okay, so this is a wellness will worksheet. All right, we'll do that on another day. Okay, I love you guys. I'll holler at you later. If I decide to burn this, I'll make a video about it for y'all, okay? All right. Love y'all. Okay.